The story begins with a boy named Kwan, who some time ago used to be the national champion of the sport Taekwondo. But we see that these days he wastes his entire day sitting in an internet cafe playing video games. He had no job, but his gaming skills were amazing, and in one such online game, his character's name was Captain, and with some other friends, he also had a team which they had named Razor Raxon. Now in this game, Kwan, meaning Captain, helped his teammates without caring about his own life. Then one day, after playing the game in the internet cafe, Kwan notices a smartphone kept nearby on which someone was calling. When he picks up the phone, he hears a girl's voice from the other side who tells him that she forgot her phone in that cafe and she wanted Kwan to come to her house to return her phone. At first, Kwan wasn't ready at all to leave his game and come. But when the girl said that she would give him $300 for this work, Kwan immediately agreed and left for her house. After this, when Kwan reaches her house, he sees that the door was already open and the girl was taking a bath in the bathroom. Seeing this, Kwan talks to her from outside, and the girl tells him to leave the phone on the table and take the money kept there. Kwan does exactly that, but just as he is about to leave, before going, he advises the girl not to leave the door open like that. Anyone could enter from behind. Well, now the scene shifts. The next day, we see that when Kwan was sleeping in his room, suddenly some police officers enter his house and arrest him. Here we find out that actually Kwan was accused of murdering that same girl whose phone he had gone to return the previous night. For now, Kwan doesn't understand at all what is happening to him. On top of that, there was blood on his hands, and the murder weapon was also found in his room. And not only this, but his fingerprints and DNA samples were also found in that girl's house. The police also found footage of him in the building's security camera. And apart from this, Kwan's semen was also found in the girl's house. And in this way, according to the police, Kwan was accused of doing wrong things twice with the girl and then stabbing her neck and stomach to death. Anyway, within a few hours, he goes viral across the entire country. Because of this, all the public starts hating him for committing such a disgusting crime. Then when Kwan's mother hears about this, she immediately goes to the police station. But there she is not allowed to meet her son. Later, we see her distributing pamphlets everywhere, telling people that her son is innocent and he is being trapped in a false case. But common people were convinced that Kwan was the murderer, so they start ignoring Kwan's mother, and many even say bad things to her. Meanwhile, Kwan's mother meets a lawyer named Mr. Min and asks for his help. But he also thought that Kwan was the murderer because all the evidence was against Kwan. So he refuses to help Kwan. A few days later, the court hearing begins and all the evidence against Kwan is presented. Besides this, due to the pressure of the media across the country, the court quickly declares its decision that Kwan is indeed the criminal, the one who committed the murder, and saying, the court gives Kwan the punishment of life imprisonment. After this, an order is given to send him to a high-security prison. But there, he is not allowed to come out even on parole, because the judge said that due to gaming all day and unemployment, Kwan's mental balance had become disturbed, and that is the reason he committed this disgusting crime. After this, he is taken to that high-security prison in the darkness of night. But inside that prison, Kwan was actually trapped like an innocent child among dangerous criminals. One day, a gang leader named Paul notices Kwan. Paul's men catch Kwan and bring him to Paul. The guards in the prison were watching all this, and they knew that Kwan was going to get beaten. Kwan hoped the guards would stop Paul's men, but that does not happen. Instead, Paul signals the guards to leave. As soon as the guards walk away, Paul starts beating Kwan. However, Kwan punches Paul back, and everyone is shocked, because no one had the courage to even speak in front of Paul, and punching him was unimaginable. This makes Paul furious, and his men break Kwan's bones and ribs one after another. After some time, the guards return and pull Kwan away, but Paul tells the senior guard that Kwan attacked him. Hearing this, the guard files a complaint against Kwan, and in return, Kwan is punished with 30 days in a dark room. After completing his punishment, when Kwan returns to the prison, Paul and his goons surround him again and beat him badly. During this, they inject a strange substance into Kwan's body. After the injection, Kwan becomes insane, and slowly this becomes a routine, and Kwan starts getting beaten almost every day. One day, Kwan's mother visits him with their lawyer, Mr. Min. Seeing Kwan's condition, she becomes extremely worried, because she knows he is being tortured in prison. By looking at his wounds, she understands everything. She tells him, "Son, somehow tolerate this for a few more days. I will get you out of here very soon." Hearing his mother's words gives Kwan new courage. And when he returns to the prison, a fresh energy fills him. But even then, Paul and his gang continue to beat him, and the violence keeps going. One day, while sitting at the dining table, another prisoner gives Kwan some ointment to apply on his wounds. That prisoner believes Kwan is not the murderer, and also believes Paul knows that Kwan is innocent. That is why Paul keeps beating him, because attacking him is easy. After this, Kwan decides that he will now fight for himself so that everyone understands he cannot be controlled so easily. One day, when Paul's men come to beat him, Kwan quickly hides somewhere and uses his pen and paper to make small weapons. When the men get close to him, he defeats them one by one, and in the end, he knocks Paul unconscious with a single strike. The next day, Mr. Min comes to meet Kwan and tells him that his mother has died. She is no longer in this world. He then gives Kwan his mother's death certificate so that Kwan can sign it and the government can perform her last rites. This means Kwan does not even get permission to attend his mother's funeral. Now Mr. Min tells him that common people had troubled his mother a lot. Those people kept taunting her every day. Because of this, she became very sad, and then she could not bear so much sadness, and in the end, she died. Hearing this, Kwan completely breaks from inside. But then, that same night, his mother comes into his dream and hugs him. The next day, Kwan remembers the words his mother spoke when she came to meet him. She had said that, "You are not a rapist, so you do not need to think like that, and you do not need to live like that." And that day, Kwan had promised his mother that one day he would prove his innocence. Meanwhile, we see that Paul comes again to attack Kwan. But this time, Kwan stabs him, which injures Paul. But in this fight, a knife also gets stuck in Kwan's stomach. Because of this, the police immediately take him to the hospital. But suddenly, Kwan stands up and attacks the guards. After this, he puts a sharp object on the chief guard's neck and demands the key to his handcuffs. The guard gives him the key, but suddenly, their vehicle meets with an accident, and all of them get injured. Still, somehow Kwan survives and escapes from there. He unlocks his handcuffs and starts running away. But behind him, the chief guard points a gun at him as if he is about to shoot him. But then, for some unknown reason, he lowers his gun, because maybe he too had understood that Kwan does not belong in jail. So, he lets Kwan escape. Well, now Kwan escapes from everyone's eyes and runs into the forest. Soon, he steals some clothes and continues running. Within a short time, the entire country's police start working to catch Kwan. While running here and there, Kwan notices a husband and wife whose car had suddenly broken down, and they were in a hurry to reach the airport. Kwan helps them fix the car, and in return, they give Kwan a ride. Actually, they didn't know about Kwan yet, and they were anyway leaving the country. So before leaving, they even give their car to Kwan so that he could sell it and earn some money. In this way, Kwan takes their car and heads toward the city. But Kwan had no other place to hide. So he goes straight to Mr. Min's house because he hoped Min would understand his situation. Here Min gives Kwan his mother's last belonging, which was a necklace. Meanwhile, Min comforts him and says that he will recheck his case files. But for now, he had already called the police because he wanted Kwan to surrender himself. Hearing this, Kwan escapes from there before the police arrive. After some time, he goes to an internet cafe and starts reading all the articles written about him. Everything there was against him. But then Kwan notices a documentary in which it was said that Kwan was trapped in a false case. Here, Kwan notices that the writer of this documentary wrote that how could Kwan rape a girl twice and kill her within only 3 minutes? Besides this, many pieces of evidence in the case had been tampered with. Seeing all this, Kwan takes a deep breath, and then he sees that the writer of that documentary was a man named Mr. Harry, who actually used to play games with Kwan. Soon after, Mr. Harry meets Kwan, and then it is revealed that this was actually a girl and her name was Yal. Just then, Kwan remembers that a girl with this name was a part of his team inside the game. Now, Yal warned Kwan that the cafe manager was about to inform the police, so he should run away from there. Then later, Yal called him to meet at a restaurant, and after that, she took him with her to a secret hideout located outside the city where she lived alone, hiding from the world. Actually, she was crazy about computers, and she spent the whole day working only on the computer. Then she made very good food for Kwan, and after eating it, Kwan started remembering the food made by his mother because he had been eating stale prison food for so long. Well, in just some time, the rest of his game teammates also reached there because now they also wanted to help Kwan, just like Kwan used to help them in the game. Here, Yal had researched this case and found all the mistakes in the evidence, and now she wanted to prove Kwan innocent together with the whole team. Then their team investigated all the recently happened high-profile cases together, and during this, they noticed a particular truck in the camera footage of all the crime scenes. And when Yal looked up information about that truck, she found out that it was bought under the name of a scrapyard. After this, Kwan secretly reaches the scrapyard, and there he saw two men who were placing a big box into a vehicle and taking it away. Now Kwan followed them and reached a building. Then, here he finds out that this was the house of a famous TV actor named Noju Young. At that moment, Kwan saw that inside that box was Noju Young's dead body, which those two men had brought in. Then Kwan hid in a corner and saw that some special agents came there and started preparing the evidence of the murder. They were actually placing fingerprints, hair, and similar evidence, and then it is revealed that Mr. Min, Kwan's lawyer, was the mastermind behind this mission. And then we find out that the real killer of Noju Young was Shu, the daughter of a rich businessman. And to save his daughter from going to jail, he gave Min the job of preparing fake evidence and putting the blame on someone else. After this, we see that in Mr. Min's building, he had a secret room that could only be opened with his face, with the help of an intelligent supercomputer, a girl on whom the blame of Shu's daughter could be placed. And this girl's name was So. She had nothing to do with Noju Young, and she was living her life peacefully. She had no idea what was going to happen to her in the future. Meanwhile, Kwan stole a photo from Noju's house, on which Min's agents had placed someone else's fingerprints. Then he went back and gave this photo to Yal so she could scan those fingerprints and find out which innocent person Min was planning to frame this time. In a short time, Yal found out that these were the fingerprints of a girl named So. Actually, Min had sent his team to So's house so they could make her unconscious and take her hair, blood, and saliva samples. So those fake samples could be used as evidence in Noju's murder case. After this, they called So on the phone and invited her to Noju's house. And here, Kwan had also tapped So's phone and he was listening to everything. And then he remembered that this was the same voice that had called Kwan to the crime scene that day. The truth was that in Kwan's case too, that girl had been killed by a rich man, and to save him, fake evidence had been created against Kwan, and he was made the scapegoat. Well, now Kwan went to meet the girl whose voice he had heard on the phone. Kwan tried to kidnap that girl, but at the very last moment she escaped on a motorcycle with someone else. Kwan also started chasing her, but on the way his car broke down. Then suddenly Paul and his men caught him. Actually, Paul had also somehow been released from jail, and now he took Kwan to an isolated place and started torturing him because Kwan had attacked him in jail, and Paul had come to take his revenge. But at the same time, Yal informed the SWAT team that Kwan was present there, and soon the SWAT team arrived to catch him. The SWAT team rescued him from Paul, and taking advantage of this moment, Kwan escaped from there. Then Yal came to pick him up in a car, and both of them ran away. On the way, Kwan asked how Paul managed to reach him. Then Yal found a tracker inside Kwan's mother's necklace, and they realized that Min was still keeping an eye on him because he was the one who had given Kwan this necklace so that he could always get Kwan's location. For this reason, in the end, Kwan had to put his heart on hold and even throw away his mother's last possession. Then later, Kwan's team built some drones and sent them to scan Mr. Min's building because they were sure that there must be a high-tech supercomputer there, which contained the data of all the people in the country. Fortunately, their suspicion was correct, and they found that supercomputer. Meanwhile, Kwan removed all the fake evidence from Noju's house. Later, when Min found out about this, he told his agents to completely clean the house and create a crime scene somewhere else. But soon, Kwan blew up the van containing their fake evidence with a bomb. After this, we see Shu's daughter, who was hiding in a hospital pretending to be a patient. She now wanted to leave quickly, and for this, Min had to prepare a new crime scene as soon as possible. Therefore, businessman Shu threatened Min to complete the mission quickly, and then he left. Now Min started creating a crime scene at a new location, and during this, Kwan took the opportunity to mention Min's name and brought Shu's daughter to that same crime scene. In this way, Shu's daughter was arrested for her own real crime. Soon, this news spread like wildfire across the country, and Min's mission was completely unsuccessful. Now Kwan called him and said that now the whole world will see your exposure. But then we saw that Min was a kind of psycho who, on hearing this, became happy that finally someone had the courage to challenge him. Min said that he was tired of repeatedly creating fake crime scenes. In fact, He had become bored doing this work so easily. But now Kwan was creating difficulties in his work, so this had become exciting for him again. As Min was saying this nonsense, Kwan hung up the phone, which made Min very angry. Then his attention fell on his office, and the ground seemed to slip beneath his feet, and he realized that the phone call had actually been a distraction and that Kwan had entered his house. Now Min immediately ran towards his secret intelligence room. But at that moment, Kwan caught him from behind and started beating him mercilessly. Now both of them, fighting, had reached near his high-tech supercomputer. When Kwan saw Min's supercomputer, he found videos in it that had been used to frame Kwan. At the same time, Kwan also found videos of his mother, in which she was alone raising her voice for Kwan's release. And then suddenly, Min told him that your mother did not die like that. I am the one who killed her because she was repeatedly creating problems by holding protests. Because of this, people became emotional and started supporting her. Now, on hearing this, Kwan went crazy with anger and hit Min very hard. After this, he started transferring all the evidence from Min's supercomputer to Yal's drive. But then suddenly Paul called Kwan and said that he had kidnapped Kwan's team, and if Kwan did not come, he would kill them. Then Min said that using the tracker in the necklace, they had found Yal's hideout, and now Paul had gone there and kept all his teammates captive, and if Kwan did not reach there to save them within 30 minutes, Paul would kill them all. Now Kwan did not have time to wait for the data transfer. That's why he immediately set out to save his teammates' lives. Meanwhile, Min called Kwan and said that in his next mission, he was going to make Yal the scapegoat. Therefore, he had sent his special agents and collected Yal's DNA and other evidence. Meanwhile, at Yal's hideout, Paul fired at a man, but he missed his target. Then suddenly the electricity went out, and at that moment Kwan arrived there. Then, using his incredible fighting skills, he broke the bones and ribs of Paul's men. After this, Kwan's team moved towards a TV station. On the way, they escaped from Paul's goons, Min's special agents, and even the police. Then they saw that Min had hacked TV channels and given Kwan's team the names of dangerous criminals. Well, as soon as Kwan and his team reached the TV station, the rest of the team got busy distracting the goons and police chasing them, while Yal started her computer system in the command center. Now she was about to expose Min's true nature on TV channels across the country. But soon the police arrested all the teammates except Yal. Now the police also surrounded Kwan's car. So Kwan raised his hands and quietly got out of the car. At this moment, people across the country were watching all this on TV, which made Min very happy. But soon his happiness turned into grief when his command center shut down, and he realized that Yal's drive was still in his computer. Now all the data from Min's computer had been transferred to Yal. Yal then combined the evidence she got from Min's computer, hacked TV stations, and exposed Min's black deeds and the real nature of his clients to the public. She showed how he collected fake evidence and created crime scenes to trap innocent people. After this, she showed everyone Kwan's case on TV, making everyone realize how wrong they had been about Kwan and all the others. Well, after Min was completely exposed, he tried to escape in his car, but Kwan's team had removed his steering wheel. Soon after, Min was arrested, but everyone knew that behind this, there must be some big mafia who was still hidden from the public. Well, after this, Kwan and his team were honorably acquitted. Meanwhile, Min met Paul in jail, and Paul was very angry with him, which made it clear that Min's time in jail was not going to be easy. And friends, with this, the movie ends here. So friends, how did you like this movie? Be sure to tell us in the comments.